Things guys need to understand about girls. Listen up, and ladies, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. The way that you talk to us literally makes all the difference. Girls will notice the slightest change in how you're speaking to us and be sad over it. So if you think like, oh, she's getting sad for no reason, it's so weird. It's because we notice everything. Another thing is that we have a sense on people. We can tell when other girls have bad intentions very, very quickly. So if your girlfriend is warning you about a girl, saying, hey, I don't think this girl has good intentions, it's because we can see that from a mile away. We just can. So please just trust it. And that's the truth.
I don't think any of that's true.
Ethel, the truth is you don't know what you're talking about. You and your collective of thoughtless, empowered victims like to scrutinize every single thing a man does and add some kind of a negative emotional connotation to the most inconsequential of incidents, and then use it as an excuse to disrespect a guy whose only crime was apparently yawning 3 seconds too early. There's no point in denying it, Ethel. You're the kind of woman who will automatically assume that when a man trims his beard, it's an automatic sign that he's cheating on you. Or at least he would be if that man was actually with you, instead of assuming as such because he made you top ramen for dinner one night after playing with your steamy muck pit of relentless doom. But for some reason, when a dude points out that one of your guy friends is getting a little too close for comfort, then he's just a controlling narcissist who worries too much. You can't hold a monopoly on seeing things that aren't there, Ethel, especially when having a dream about a man cheating on you is enough to give that guy the silent treatment for 3 weeks. But that's only if that particular man is brain damaged and is still willing to settle for less after all you've put him through.
I'll just move North Korea. I'll just move North Korea. Okay? Okay. I'll just move North Korea.
Things to avoid while dating. Now, if you don't want to get heartbroken or ghosted, follow these things. I learned the hard way so that you don't have to.
That's nothing to be proud of, Rusty.
Okay? Number 1, hangouts at their place. Them not taking you on real dates, they just want to hang out at yours or at theirs. This shows minimal effort for you, like almost 0 effort. So they're pursuing you in the littlest effort that they can. It doesn't take time, it doesn't take money, it doesn't take effort. If they're putting in this much effort to pursue you, how are they going to treat you if they even want to have you?
That's not my problem. It's yours.
I hate to break it to you, sister, but you haven't learned a thing. If you're seeing a man and you're constantly going to his house, then he is not pursuing you. It means you are pursuing him. And by constantly going to his house, you're making it clear that you find him attractive and that you're willing to provide him with low-effort coitus to up to the point where you're totally cool with him having your personal address. And at that point, he doesn't have to spend money on you. Why should he bother buying you dinner when you're willing to make him dessert for free? Technically speaking, he did make a plan. He made plans for you to come over to his house for some stank time. And if you agree to said plans, then you have nothing to complain about. Now, if he mentions that for a first date and you're not interested, then say no and move on with that empty husk you call a life. There's no sense complaining about it. But if you're willing to go to his house on a first date, then that says a hell of a lot more about your lack of self-worth than it does about his lack of effort.
Number 2, if they ask for your Snapchat instead of your number, they are either A, cheating on you because they have a wife at home and they're going to use Snapchat to talk to all their girly pops, or B, they just quite literally don't really care about you. The rushers, the love bombers, the ones that rush into saying everything that you're the most perfect person ever, that they want you to have their children, they are clearly not stable. If they are rushing into something, they're trying to get over someone, they need the attention, they have a huge ego that they want to be able to say that they can get you, and then they'll run away, and then they'll ghost you. That's like 99.99999% of the time when someone is love bombing you, they will leave you that fast. They rush in, they rush out.
Emotional damage.
Hey woman, I don't think it's fair to say that these men are rushing into things when you're the type of lady who will rush to her phone to post a video onto TikTok to complain about going on a dinner date with a guy who didn't wear the right color of socks. Now I agree, fools rush in. And if there's a man out there who says that you're perfect and that he wants you to bear his children, then I'm kind of worried about that fool, if he even exists at all. That jewelry and your claw fingers tell a completely different story, sister. A guy might go out on a few dates with you and feel something serious, but then you'll do something, or in your case, anything, and he will not only lose interest, but he will ghost you because he'll realize that you're not worth the time it'll take for something serious. It's not because he's love bombing you only to turn around and slip the relationship rug from under you. A majority of self-respecting men don't do that. There's usually a reason behind ghosting. And in your case, I think those reasons are fairly obvious.
On to the next for them. The ones that talk about their exes at every single chance that they can get. They bring it up if they say they're going to therapy. Oh, my ex made me go to therapy. Okay, why did I need to know that? Why was it a necessary part of the story that I needed to know? Like, why are we bringing her up? If they're bringing them up, there's one and one reason only as to why they're doing that. They're not over them. They're thinking about them while they're still with you. So how and why would you want to continue that? Once they get over it, then they can come back. And if you're still available, you'll be there. But if not, bye, you lost your shot.
All right.
Well, that's a two-way street, sister. Considering that you have no problem bringing up any one of the members of your illustrious roster of ex-hookups and situationships at a drop of a hat, I don't think you're in any position to judge. I personally believe that unless it's under incredibly specific circumstances, talking about your exes should be avoided in general when it comes to basic conversation, just to make things simple. And in your case, there is just no point. If a man is telling you about an ex that made his life a living hell, there may be some trauma there, but he's also confiding in you. And instead of showing some compassion and understanding, your gut reaction is to get mad at him and tell him that the information he's given you is useless. However, when you open up to your sacred storybook of terrible life choices, you expect that man to listen intently and shower you with pity. But that dog ain't gonna hunt, sweetheart. If you expect this man to get over his past traumas, then you need to be held to the same standard. Because if you don't, you're saying you are willing to put in less than the bare minimum to make things work.
And last but not least, ignoring the warning signs, the red flags, as I should say, the parts of him and how he treats you that makes you feel uncomfortable. If he makes you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, address them, or else he will keep doing it. If you address them and he acts accordingly and he stops doing it and stops putting you in that uncomfortable spot, great, red flag eliminated. Now it's gray, beige, maybe even green. I'm on a roll with these and I have so many more, so if you want any more, ask for part 2.
What?
How is that even possible when any meaningless thing will make you uncomfortable, woman? Face it, you're a modern woman, and unless everything is perfect, something's going to make you uncomfortable. And it's come to the point where if a man doesn't put the toilet seat in your preferred position, you'll question this man's value to society as a whole. All you're doing is adding unwanted drama onto a man's life instead of accepting a man's imperfections. You've made anything and everything a red flag nowadays. A man's finances, his clothing preferences, his hobbies, his taste in music, his relationship with his neighbor's dog. It's all on the table for red flags. Now, as a modern woman, it's your life's mission to find these flags out of nothing, just so you have an excuse to leave a guy whenever you feel like something better might come around the corner. Hell, it's come to the point where the biggest reason to find a guy is to find red flags so you can complain about them online. But you want the validation for being a victim of a man while also getting the validation from that same man at the same time. And you can't have it both ways. And the fact that you think you're entitled to such nonsense just confirms everything we already know. And that's in being in the same supermarket as you is just one gigantic red flag to be avoided at all costs.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
I think guys should cheat.
Yeah, me too. I think that men are capable of having sex without any feelings attached to it.
If they love you and they're like, they do boyfriend things for you, but then they're like, low-key, like, I slipped up, I would probably forgive them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always forgiven my exes for cheating.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
So I knew that, like, it wasn't them being in love with someone. I knew it was just like, okay, like, you wanted your wet. Okay, we're moving on now.
Really?
Translation, I'm an insecure broad who still thinks she has a chance with Chad the Impaler thanks to my mediocre bedroom ability and my skills to be able to only slightly burn my toast for breakfast every morning. I have virtually nothing to offer, but I know that if I try to dump the Emperor, then I'll be thrown to the streets from whence I came. So I humbly accept being a member of Chat's harem with hope that one day he will recognize me for the special street trash I am and kick the rest of his women out the door to spend the rest of his life with stinky old me. So if he sleeps with another woman, I have no other choice but to accept it because he's got money that I want, and the only way I have a shot at getting him and his money is to stick around long enough to be written into his will. I've seen it happen on reality shows all the time, so my flawless plan is bound to work perfectly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how close am I?
Like, what can I do to make sure that maybe you won't do that again?
Usually if men cheat, it's because they found something that you lack.
Yeah. And women have a hard time of accepting that. And I feel like being like, F you for cheating, like blah, 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 yada, 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 without looking back and being like, okay, what did I do wrong? Because my man was compensating for something that I was not giving him.
Yeah.
And how am I able to give him that?
No, exactly.
Such. It's a shit smell. Is that you? It smells like papa.
Right. Interesting. So in other words, you're a cat lady in training. There is no possible way that you believe the words coming out of your own mouth, sister. The modern woman has 1.5 million excuses to cheat on her man, up to and including boredom, the aforementioned bad dreams, accidents.
What, like he tripped and you fell?
And because he didn't buy the right brand of toilet paper. But for some reason, men aren't allowed to be angry at you if you buy the wrong brand of 2-ply. So I guess it's incredibly difficult to believe that you would forgive any man for cheating on you. There's no sense of pretending that you have the moral high ground on this one. So this leads me to believe that you've never been cheated on, or you've never had a serious relationship. Just a series of flings where you rose to the ranks of weekend bed warmer. Which sounds more likely considering that your content consists of drinking cheap wine in a hot tub while pretending to be cool. But I'll let you in on a little secret, sister. Can you name 5 members of the original G.I. Joe cartoon? Because that's the minimum baseline for chicks to be considered cool nowadays. If you can't do that, just shut up already.
That would be cool.
What is wrong with men? I just went on a first date. It was wonderful, it was beautiful. We had dinner, drinks, got along.
I can see down your shirt.
Tell me why this man at the end of the date goes, he walks me to my car and he goes, had such a wonderful evening with you. It was so great. Great to get to know you. Can I kiss you? Don't ever ask a girl, can I kiss you? That is an immediate ick. Like, do you guys just not have balls anymore? Literally, he should have just gone and been like, I had a great date with you, we had great chemistry, and then give me a nice little smooch on the lips, and then we called it a night. There is nothing more unattractive than a man asking if they can kiss you. Men, do better.
No.
Oh, you simple, top-heavy, bird-brained little simpleton. Nobody's dating you, sweetheart. And now that we got those obvious pleasantries out of the way, I'm actually kind of disappointed in the guy that this woman is lying about. First off, considering the type of content that this broad is constantly putting out, he should know exactly where that mouth has been, and wanting to kiss it is just begging for a case of festering blisters.
That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes.
Second, even if this scenario was even remotely real, then this guy did not go far enough. He should have not only gotten a signed consent form, but he should have also had a notary public on standby to verify the signature, but also have at least one witness whose sole purpose would be to make this man question his life decisions and whether or not he really wants to kiss an online avenue stroller. But that's just bro code. It's existed since the beginning of time for this very reason. It's either to encourage dudes to do stupid stuff or to prevent them from ruining their lives. Usually one involves jumping off of something while the other involves preventing that man from jumping on somebody. It's a really good system, and I'm fairly confident it's saved a few lives. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, maybe leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.